Soon Xiaoxie also woke up Xiaoxie, who was lying on the ground, and he smiled. Martial arts demon kill no forgiveness Xiaoxie. Hello senior. Xiaoxie saw that it was Xiaoxie who sat up and got up, but his right leg was already broken and he had no power to palm, so he had to scream, "Boy, you cut off the old man's leg, and the old man will definitely cut off your feet in his lifetime." The little evil smiled and said, "I'm glad you have the ability to avoid it. No matter how many people you kill, I'll let you go today. I want to prove one thing, that is, whether bad people will always be bad people. I just don't believe in this evil. I want to influence you and turn you into a good person, hee hee." He suddenly thought that this game was very funny and fun, and he couldn't help but laugh. Chung said in his heart, "Fart. You can decide whether the old man is good or bad. I will not kill you. Eat your heart and liver, and never kill anyone again." Xiaoxie smiled, "Xiaoxie, let's make a bet. You can't kill others before you kill me. I have a way to make you better. If it doesn't get good, I'll just fuck. Don't gamble." Xiaoxie couldn't think of what bet to make a good deal, so he lost his temper and shouted, "What are you playing to?" meaning, "This bet is not in vain. Lao Tzu will kill you if he is happy. Get out of your ball. When will I also learn the style of a hero, and want to make people better? Get out." He said to Zhongxing's buttocks, "Zhongxing, I don't like you very well today, old man. I only cut off one of your legs, and I have time to cut off a few more hairs. My name is Yang Xiao Yang Daxia." Zhongxing was really a peaceful tiger, and he said, "Stinky boy, if the old man doesn't kill you, he will be your grandson." Xiaoxie shouted, "It's okay, many people in the grandson industry are pretending. I have to leave a mark on you, otherwise I don't know if someone changes me." Picking up the dagger, he quickly carved a big turtle on Zhongxing's chest, and then shouted, "The turtle means a long life. I don't want my grandson to die. Do you hear? You can't die secretly without my consent. I'm leaving. Take good care of your old concubine. Bye." He kicked Zhong happily again, picked up Xiaoqi and walked away. Zhongxing was angry at first, and then frustrated, and when the blood and qi were smooth, he applied the wound with gold ointment, and the whole person seemed to be 10 years old. Looking at the person next to the pillow, seeing that she was also injured, he couldn't help but hissed a few times, picked up a quilt and covered Li Mimi's body, walked out of the cave alone, and disappeared into the forest. Everyone knows his feelings. The old rivers and lakes who lived for 50 or 60 years ended up in the hands of a 14 or 15-year-old hairy boy, and the feeling of pain, despair, and unwillingness must be indescribable. The two martial arts demons disappeared into the rivers and lakes like this, especially Li Mimi, her stunning appearance. She must have had a good home, but she committed the obscenity ring, and made it look like this. She said that she regretted that she should not bring the little evil back, but unfortunately she would not be glad that the little evil had chosen the best ending for her, and she had beaten geese all her life, and was finally pecked in the eyes by geese. The green mountains are like the smiling faces of children, filled with the expression of joy, and the sunshine caresses the lovely earth like a mother's hands. XXX. Xiaoxie has carried Xiaoqi down the mountain, and this series of encounters is enough for Xiaoqi to think about it for the rest of his life. Soon Xiaoqi woke up. Xiaoxie shouted happily, "Xiaoqi, you are okay. Come down and take a look. He put Xiaoqi down and took care of Xiaoqi like his own son. With a smile, Xiaoqi's body was very weak, but he still endured it and walked forward step by step, but he couldn't walk a few steps, and his body was already planted forward. Xiaoxie immediately rushed up as soon as he saw it, picked Xiaoqi up, and said with a smile, "Xiaoqi doesn't matter, I'll take 2 pills when I return to Chang'an City, and I guarantee that you will be alive again soon, maybe you will go to the girl." Xiaoqi also reluctantly laughed. He didn't know what he was doing these days, only confused. Xiaoxie smiled. "Xiaoqi, do you know that it is really not easy to be a person, you have to endure it, if you don't die, it doesn't count, just like I was a little beggar and was comfortable, who knew that my old man calculated me, arrested me, and beat me, and boiled me with potion for more than 10 years, taught some indiscreet martial arts, and threw me out like this. I wanted to play happily, I didn't want to go to the rivers and lakes at all, but as soon as I arrived in the Central Plains, there were a lot of things, what Flying Dragon Castle, Black Scarf Killer, Shenwu Men. I thought about it for a long time before I realized that my old man had already nailed me to the rivers and lakes, and I couldn't run away if I wanted to. I thought, since he is in the rivers and lakes, I will give him a green onion and garlic who. I don't believe that there is no joy to find in the rivers and lakes, what do you think?" Xiaoqi couldn't understand what he said, so he smiled dumbly and nodded. Xiaoxing said again, "When we are tired of playing, we will find a place to hide, so that the world cannot find us, especially the enemy, and then we catch fish and hunt every day, but the most important thing is to raise black dogs, because if I don't eat dog meat, I will really suffocate to death, and I have no money to spend, so I will come out and steal a fortune, his grandmother's. Isn't this happier than being an emperor, haha?" When he thought of this kind of free and easy life, he couldn't help but laugh. As long as Xiaoxie smiles, Xiaoqi will laugh too. 2 young people who seem to be big but not big, small and not small, just mixed together inexplicably, and fell into the rivers and lakes inexplicably. Of course, sometimes people can't fully live the life they want, although Xiaoxie thinks so in his heart, but he knows that this kind of life is still a long time away from now, but if you don't think about it, I'm afraid you will forget that there is still this kind of life in the world. In the conversation and laughter, they have entered the official road, and finally returned to the prosperous world. As soon as he entered the official road, someone immediately greeted him. It was a little beggar. He was looking at the little evil with a bright face, and he asked, "Big brother, are you the 11 bags of elder brother Yang?" Xiaoxie smiled when he heard it. "Don't mention it, the 11 sacks were almost eaten by they. If you want it, I'll get you a few another day. What's your name?" The little beggar smiled and said, "My name is Hexagon, 1 corner and 2 corners. I am 8 years old this year. Yang Daxia, you are so angry, so that all our beggar gang people are in me, like me. A beginner also comes in handy, I knew I would find you." Xiaoxie felt that this little watch was very interesting, and he asked, "How can you find us if you are like a Tao?" Hexagonal said, "It's not simple. We came here to look for 2 days, but the other people left. I stayed. I said you must run to play, like the other day to have a conference, but when you finish the meeting, you will definitely come back. Don't you see this? Just let me wait. Wow Ka! The little evil smiled and said, Hexagon, are you in a hurry to find me? Hexagon shook his head and said, I don't know either, it's just that the little owner cries all day long and says that she is sorry for you, takes you away, and wants to apologize to you, but she just can't find you. The more she cries, the more sad she becomes, and the helmsman can't do anything, so she has to do her best to come to you. Okay. Now that I've found it, the helmsman wants a sack for me to hang up, and it's useless if I don't have a sack. The little evil thought that this was the case, and he said, let's go back to the 6 corners. Liu Jiao said as he walked, Yang Daxia, you have 11 sacks, the most of our beggars, you must have the right to reward me with one, can you reward me with one? Xiaoxie said, what do you want the sack for? Look at the beginning, you keep talking, as if it is very important. You don't know that I'm only 8 years old now, and it's going to be 7 years before I have a sack, and if I have it now, I'll be better than them. It turns out that the beginner disciples of the beggar gang have to have sacks after the age of 15, otherwise they will only have a sack of honor if they have made special merits, and if there are less than 4 sacks, the helmsman has the power to distribute them, and the little evil has 11 of them. Of course, they have more power, so the hexagonal has always wanted this sack.